Namo Shakyamunaya Buddhaya. Dear respected teachers, dear Noble Sangha, dear friends, good morning. Today is our second day of our Wakeup retreat with the theme, Be Free Where You Are. For me to feel free at this very moment, I need to offer myself a smile for me to feel more relaxed, to feel more supported. And I also need a smile from the Sangha for me to feel more supported. So we practice smiling. It's a very deep practice. Sometimes we have the tendency to think that a smile doesn't do us any good. But if we practice smiling, we shall see how much it can help us, especially when we have to face difficult moments, especially when we are sitting here. We need to offer us a smile to feel safer. That is why we can see the Buddha smiling all the time. It is a smile of someone who is awake and aware. He's aware of what is needed, of what people need. And then he offers a smile for them to feel that they are helped already with a smile. With a smile, he may say that, my dear, don't worry, I'm here for you. I'm open to whatever you are going to offer. I'm ready to be open to whatever that is offered. And with a smile, you can feel more supported, more encouraged. So with a smile, we can offer help to ourselves already. Our teacher, he shares that sometimes he practiced smiling to himself in the dark to cultivate love for himself, to feel he is loved, he is understood, he is supported by himself. And through the practice of smiling already, we can set us free from our own ideas. And we can know how to let go of our ways of seeing things. Can let go of our old ways of seeing things, of doing things. Be free where we are. As it was shared yesterday in the orientation talk, all the practices we are offered here are to help us how to cultivate peace, solidity, freedom in anything we do during the day. We learn how to walk as a free person. We learn how to sit as a free person. We learn how to do everything as a free person, free from anger, free from despair, free from worries, from all kinds of distraction and temptations created inside of ourselves, created by people around us. by doing everything together throughout the day, in mindfulness, enjoying, sitting together in peace, walking together in peace, eating together in peace, singing together in peace. Everything is to help us how to cultivate peace, solidity, freedom right here and right now, so that we won't allow ourselves to be carried away, to be blown away anymore by the winds of our emotions, of our old emotions, or the emotions of other people. So when we listen to the sound of the bell, when we hear the sound of the bell, and we practice listening to the bell, we learn how to stop our thinking, our worries. We let go of everything else and come back to our breath. And we enjoy breathing in and out, calming ourselves, cultivating peace, freedom, joy at this very moment in the here and now. During the day, the bell shall be invited several times, and we take that opportunity to help us practice liberating ourselves from our thinking, from our worries, from our strange thoughts that can easily lead us to negative mental states of mind that cause suffering. So we need to take any opportunity we are given to practice cultivating peace, solidity, freedom. And we wish to do that. That is why we come here together. And when everyone is doing the same thing, we are more strongly supported in our practice, strengthening our solidity, making our solidity stronger, our freedom deeper, our peace. So anytime we hear the sound of the bell, we learn how to stop what we are doing, and we allow ourselves to come back to ourselves, to our breath. With mindful breathing, our mind is brought back right away to our body. And when our mind is brought back to our body, we are right away brought back to life, which is only available in the here and now. And we can touch life in a very deeper way. And we can touch the true meaning of life. We can touch the true reality of things that are there in every moment. Just by practicing mindful breathing through our day, while doing walking, sitting, eating, listening to the bell, we can set us free right away as we wish. And we are the only person who knows whether we are truly practicing stopping when we are listening to the bell. No one knows. We seem like stopping when we hear the sound of the bell, but inside of us, we need to know whether we are still running with our mind, and we are the only person who knows that. So let us listen to one sound of the bell and see whether we are able to come back to our breath, bringing our mind back to our body and enjoy breathing with the sound of the bell. restoring our peace, our freedom. Let us try. So we practice to be able to become the person who knows, the one who knows. The great Thai teacher Ajahn Chah, he reminds us that you practice to be able to become the person who knows exactly what you are thinking, what you are saying, what you are doing, for you to be aware whether what you are thinking, what you are doing or saying can bring you peace, solidity, freedom. So the one who knows, the one who is aware, and when we are aware, we know exactly what is happening there in our body, in our feelings, for us to offer the best help we need, for us to offer the help that people around us need. So everything is given to us as a tool for us to put it into practice, to see whether it can truly help us to restore our peace, our solidity, our freedom. And we can see through our own practice of being mindful, being aware of what we are doing at every moment, we know how to make us a free person again, how to make us happy again, and healthy again, and beautiful again. As it was shared, as it has been shared several times by our brothers and sisters in the sharing, that freedom is the foundation of our happiness. Without freedom, there is no happiness. Without freedom, we allowed ourselves to run away all the time with our mind. The more we are aware of what is there, the more we are aware of the kind of nature of our mind. It never stops running away from what is here and now. That is its nature. That is the way things are. So anytime we find ourselves running away from what is here and now, we only need to come back to our breath, to our breathing, and we can be brought home right away. Yeah. While listening to the sound of the bell, we can practice the gatha. Listen, listen. This wonderful sound brings me back to my true home. So the bell is seen as a kind of, is seen as a voice of the Buddha, someone who is awake. And he calls him back. He calls him back home. Most of the time we want to run away from our body, and our body is our first home. And if we keep running away from home, from our body, so we shall find ourselves a kind of person who has no home anywhere we go. We are someone like a homeless person. That is what was shared by one of our brothers in his sharing, that when we run away from what is here now, when we run away from our body, we are like a homeless person, finding no home anywhere we go. So we need to go home. And mindful breathing can help us to be home, to take care of our home, of our body, of our feelings, making it more tidy, more warm for us to enjoy, to feel safe, to feel protected. So, and the bell and the sound of the bell, or we can take any any kind of sound for us to be reminded to go home to ourselves, offering the best help we need, the best help our body needs. It needs rest. It needs to be allowed to relax. We do not listen to our body. By listening to the sound of the bell, we learn how to listen to our body, to understand what it needs for us to offer it the best help it needs. There is pain, there is suffering in our body, so we need to go home to take care of ourselves, to learn ways to help us transform our suffering, to reduce stress in our body, to release tensions. So all the practices we are offered here are to help us do that, and only that, how to cultivate peace, freedom, solidity, how to create happiness in ourselves. And we shall discover that happiness is to be made inside of ourselves. It cannot be found outside. And when we have peace, happiness, freedom inside, we can feel free anywhere we go. No longer shall we allow ourselves to be blown away by all the distractions and temptations we made ourselves or made by other people around us. That is true freedom that we need to cultivate. And true freedom shall bring true happiness. This morning, Thầy Tu Thom, he has shared that what it is to cultivate true freedom for us to truly taste true happiness. We do not need to learn a lot, to know a lot about Buddhism, because if you know a lot, you learn a lot. And if we do not put it into practice, it will do us any good. Better learn just a few things that we know how to put them into practice, and then we shall see the difference right away. When we practice listening to the bell, when we practice sitting still, coming back to our breath, into our breathing, feeling the rising and the falling of abdomen, if we can restore right away our energy, our peace of freedom. So the peace that has been cultivated during the sitting, it shall be continued through the walking if we do the same thing, and through the eating, through whatever we are going to do during the day. It takes a different way of cultivating. We take different ways of cultivating peace, freedom, and not only in one way, just only in sitting or in walking. That is why we do not need to sit for hours and hours. We only need to sit for 30 minutes, but we learn how to dwell peacefully while sitting, calming ourselves, learning how to sit upright, because with the upright position, when we are aware, we can see that we sit with our bent back very often. And when we are aware, when we come back to ourselves, we can readjust our sitting. And we can sit more upright. With that upright sitting, we feel more solid, more relaxed, and more free. So anytime we have the opportunity to sit, we do sitting, not only in the meditation hall, but sitting for eating, listening to the Dharma talk, anytime we can do sitting. The same for walking. So, because the more we practice being aware, the more we see how things are fleeting. Everything is fleeting at every moment. Nothing stays long, forever. So while sitting, we are cultivating peace, freedom, solidity, but it doesn't stay long. It shall go away. But we are aware, so we come back again to our breath and we cultivate it. That is what we are practicing. The more we are aware of what is there, the more we see how things are fleeting. Everything comes and goes, comes and goes. We come much more closer to the true reality of things, and we shall learn how to let go of things when it's time for it to let go. Even we enjoy sitting, but if it's time for us to go walking, we let go of sitting and we go and join the walking, and we enjoy doing what we are doing. And when it's time for us to go eating, we go eating. So we learn how to let go of things. We learn how to free ourselves from our strong habit, energy of holding fast to things, clinging to things, because we think that they can stay as long as we wish. If we try to cling to it, if we try to hold fast to it. Before I knew the practice, I used to be a person who strongly cling to her own ideas. And I can easily get angry if my ideas are not accepted. And that is why conflicts are always there in me. And I never stop struggling, and that caused a lot of suffering. But since I knew the practice, learning how to let go, when things are offered, I learned how to open, to welcome it, to flow with it. And I found out that with the practice of coming back to myself, enjoying my breathing, letting go of what is in my mind, in my body, just enjoy what I am offered and just enjoy what I'm doing, I find myself, I'm very surprised to find myself very ready to let go of my own ideas. I no more allow myself to cling to whatever. And that is, thanks to that, I discovered what it means by to be free. And that kind of true freedom can bring about true happiness, and it can be found in ourselves. So for us to be reminded how to cultivate peace, solidity, and freedom at every moment of our life, we need the support, the whole Sangha. That is why when we come to a retreat, we feel we are strongly supported and easily reminded how to do things in a more mindful way for us to help ourselves to stop our thinking and be aware of what is there, for us to truly enjoy what is there. Edis was reminded when, before we chant, we are reminded how to do things as one body, to sing as one body, to sit as one body, to walk as one body. And when we can touch that true reality that we are not a separate self, we are parts of everyone around, everything around. we do not feel lonely anymore. So when the Buddha smiles at us, we want to say, my dear, do you know, you are me, I am you. So you don't have to fear. You can be accepted as you are because you are part of me. Because most of the time we see ourselves as a separate self, and that is why we feel lonely and we fear. Most of the time we act out of fear. We fear not to be understood, we fear to be judged, to be criticized. And that is why we try to run away. And we don't want to accept ourselves as we are. And that is why we cannot accept people around us as they are. So when we see that we are parts of each other, no more frontier between us, no more boundary, no more division, separation, and we feel strongly supported, we feel very surrounded, we cannot feel lonely anymore. Be free where you are is a message our teacher addressed to the inmates in a prison in the United States. He was invited for the first time to share the practice in an American prison. It is Maryland Correctional Institution in the United States, where he was invited to come, and he gave this Dharma talk in which he addressed this message to all the inmates that were kept there in that institution, hundreds of them. And they were share how to practice mindful breathing, coming back to their self, to themselves, learning how to take care of themselves, how to take care of their body, of their feelings. And they will share how to practice mindful walking, mindful eating, for them to learn how to cultivate peace, solidity, freedom. And it was reported later that the talk had touched hundreds of inmates that were there, and they had helped, and it had helped transform, change the lives of hundreds of inmates that were kept in that correctional institution in Maryland, in the United States. And after that visit, it was also reported that a new program of meditation was implemented in that correctional house. So they can see the importance of learning how to come back to our breath and enjoy breathing, for us to learn how to protect ourselves and not to allow our anger to be our master. They have learned through the practice of mindful breathing, mindful walking, sitting, whenever they are given the opportunity to walk, to sit, to eat, they practice being aware so that they know what to do, to master their thoughts, to master their actions, to master their speech. With the practice of mindful breathing, we become master of ourselves again, become master of our life, and we shall know how to help us to reduce suffering in our body, in our feeling, and to bring more peace, joy, and freedom. Freedom, happiness can be found in ourselves and not outside of us. And many of them, and we keep sharing our practice in many prisons in the United States till nowadays. And it has helped many prisoners to feel free, truly free where they are. And they do not see the prison as a place that can destroy the freedom anymore. And they take the opportunity to be there for them to have more time to cultivate more peace, solidity and freedom in themselves and help others to do the same. And the prison has become their home where they can find peace, where they can find brotherhood, where they can find love, support, friendship. Do you see? The example through their practice is something very inspiring for us to see how we can practice to meet our challenges in our daily life. We think that we are not the prisoners, but if we stop and look at ourselves and watch the way we do things, the way we think, the way we say things, whether we are in a kind of prison we make for ourselves, prisons made up of our own ideas of happiness. We have been kept ourselves in that kind of prison for so long. Prisons of anger, of violence, of hatred, discrimination, all kinds of conflicts that cause suffering, that never allowed us to feel free, to feel at peace, to feel solid. When we practice mindful breathing, coming back to ourselves, being aware of what is there, we can see the way our mind is working, the way our mind is functioning. So learning Buddhism, practicing Buddhism is learning how to train that kind of mind that never stops running away. Buddha called it a monkey mind, because it's easy to say things, but it's not easy to do things. Because this is the nature of our mind, is running all the time. And when we are aware of that, we learn how to train it. So learning Buddhism, practicing Buddhism is learning how to train our mind. And this cannot be done one day, a few days, a few weeks. Sometimes we need the whole life, or life after life, to do that. So training our mind, learning how to tame our mind is a hard job, is a hard task, but it doesn't mean that it cannot be done. We can see what the prisoners in the correctional house they can do for themselves if they truly want to train their mind. When I came to Plum Village, I didn't know anything about Plum Village. I was brought there, I was invited to be there by a friend who has been there for a long time. And when I first came there, I truly decided to go there and stay there. for the practice in 1988, and we were taught by Thai about the Buddhist psychology. So in the Buddhist psychology, we can conceive our mind as a kind of soil. It's a kind of garden where all the seeds are kept. We have good seeds, but we also have bad seeds in everyone. We have good seeds and bad seeds. So, and this part of our mind, where all the seeds are kept, bad and good, it has a name. It is called the store consciousness. All our seeds are kept in that kind of store consciousness. Store consciousness is a kind of storage where all our seeds are kept. So good seeds are peace, solidity, happiness, generosity, on the kinds of seeds that bring us happiness, joy, freedom. So these are good seeds. And this upper part of our mind, we call it the mind consciousness. So here we have the seed of mindfulness, for example, and so on. All kinds of good seeds. So they are like flowers in our garden. If we water them, if we grow them, our garden shall be full of flowers, and we can enjoy the beauty and the freshness. And not only us who can enjoy them, but everyone around can benefit a lot from our flowers. So when we practice being mindful, being aware of what is there, when we practice mindful breathing, generating the energy called mindfulness, we learn how to become a good gardener. So for us to know exactly what seeds we need to select, what seeds we need to plant, to grow, to wake them up, for us for them to offer us flowers and bringing us a lot of peace and happiness. So mindfulness, when it is here, when we invite with mindful breathing, in what we are doing, we are watering that seed of mindfulness in us and make it manifest up here in our mind consciousness. We wake them up. That is why we practice to be able to be aware of what sits in us, for us to help them wake up. That is the meaning of the wake up movement. We learn how to wake up our good seeds for them to manifest and offer flowers and bear fruits. So when they are coming here, they can bloom like flowers. Mindfulness, peace, so practicing mindfulness for us to train ourselves as a good gardener, for us to know how to take good care of our garden, making flowers to grow all the time but they cannot stay there all the time. Even they are very beautiful, even they are flowers, everything has to go away. But when they fade, they fall away, and then when they die, we know how to breathe, to calm ourselves, to cultivate solidity and freedom, and they can blossom again, they can bloom again. That is what we call watering the good seeds in us. And when we are coming here, we learn how to do this together for us to be strongly supported. For those good seeds in each of us have a chance to be touched, to be waken up, to grow, and to offer flowers. That is what we are doing here in our retreat, in any retreat, because we can be very forgetful. So we need to be reminded, and mindful breathing is our best friend to remind us how to come back to ourselves and help the good seeds in us to wake up and to offer flowers for our garden to be full of flowers. You see, even we do not know each other. We only meet for the first time. But when we come and we do sitting together, walking together, doing everything together in peace, even we do not know each other, even we do not say anything to each other, still we feel very close to each other. We feel very connected because our good seeds are being watered all the time through our practices during the day. Singing, meditation, sitting, everything we do together is to help us and help each other to wake up the good seeds in us, for them to grow strong and to stay there, for us to enjoy, for us to benefit from them. So while we are watering those seeds in us, our bad seeds, anger, jealousy, craving, hatred, they are still there, but they do not have a chance to be wakened up. They do not have a chance to be touched. We are sitting very peaceful here, but suddenly if someone came close to us and says something very unkind, so they are touching that seed of anger in us, and right away it shall manifest. Try and you shall see. They are always there. And so the bad seeds, they are always there. In a dormant state, they are sleeping there. And with the practice of being mindful, we do not give them a chance to be waken up. And we let them stay there, sleeping. And they can get weaker and weaker. And when those things are strong enough, they shall know how to take care of those bad seeds. If we practice being calm, being peaceful, solid, and free at every moment in whatever we are doing, so our mindfulness, our awareness is getting stronger and stronger. And our solidity is getting stronger. And we shall know how to take care of this without having to fight to suppress it. So while doing walking mindfully or sitting mindfully, you shall see that those bad seeds always try to come out. But this time, with mindfulness as our protector, we can smile to them because they are part of us. But we do not allow ourselves to follow them, to be carried away by them anymore. That is very important to know how our mind functions for us to help ourselves. So when there's nothing happening yet, there's no difficulty. As we are now sitting here together, practicing mindfulness together, we are in peace. So we keep doing this like we are saving wood for the winter. We do not wait until we get angry to come back here to wake up the good seeds. We don't have enough strength and energy, and we don't remember at all. That is why being here for the 5 days, we learn how to put on our heart in all the practices we are offered to make our awareness stronger, our concentration stronger, and we can have the wisdom, we can have the right view, what we need to do and not to do to help ourselves transform our suffering and help others to do the same. To do the same. That is the way we are advised to practice in our daily life. If we truly love ourselves and if we truly love someone, we learn how to touch only the good seeds in ourselves and in others, and we learn not to touch those seeds. If by any chance it comes up, anger, whatever, is very normal. Greed, jealousy, all kinds of those bad seeds. Greed, what else? Jealousy. And so on. All kinds of, we call unwholesome seeds. These are good seeds or wholesome seeds, and these are unwholesome seeds. Because if they manifest, they shall lead us to do things, say things in a very negative way, causing division, causing discrimination, causing war, conflicts, and so on. So this we call watering the good seeds, and just by practicing mindful breathing, we are more aware of not allowing the bad seeds to come up, and try our best to invite those seeds to come up and to stay longer in that mind consciousness. So when it comes up and we do not follow it, so it shall fall back. And we allowed us to stay there as long as we can. Because if we allowed it to be here, it shall destroy us very easy. When we get angry, and if we are not mindful, we do not know how to control our feelings, and that we can allow ourselves to be destroyed by our anger very easily. Anger is a very dangerous kind of fire. It can burn us alive easily. Anger and whatever. So the prisoners in the prison, they learn how to control themselves, not to allow those things to come up. And whenever they come up, they don't follow them, they breathe, they relax, they smile, and they shall come down. And it's not an easy thing to do if we do not truly want to train ourselves in that direction. And that is why the Buddha advises us to practice right diligence. We need to make effort. Happiness or freedom, it is not something falling from heaven for free. We need to make some effort for us to cultivate and help our good seeds are wholesome seeds to manifest, to wake up. So there are 4 aspects of right diligence, right effort, and it is mentioned in all the teachings of the Buddha, in the Eightfold Path, Noble Eightfold Path, in the teaching of the 5 powers, in the teaching on the 7 factors of awakening, because without making effort, even we understand a lot, we know a lot, but if we do not make an effort to put it into practice in our daily life, learning how to walk mindfully, eating mindfully, sitting still, breathing mindfully, doing everything in that light of awareness, and then they may come up just for one time and they stay weak. That is why we keep practicing mindfulness during the whole day, along the day, in everything we do together. When we do sitting, we do it together for us to feel strongly supported, cultivating, watering only these good seeds together and not allowing these seeds to come out. So there are those kind of 4 aspects. What we are doing together in the retreat, we learn how to water only the good seeds in us, watering. We can say the wholesome seeds, how to help them to manifest through our way of living in our daily life, cultivating peace and kindness, compassion, understanding, love. And when they are there, we learn how to keep doing that. We do not do only sitting to cultivate this. While doing the walking, we do the same thing. What eating, in everything we do, while doing total relaxation, whatever we are doing, we learn how to be aware of what we are thinking, saying, so that we see whether what we are doing, thinking, and saying, we are watering these seeds or we are watering those seeds. It has become very clear now. Just by being aware, looking at ourselves and everyone around, we can see through the way we are walking, sitting, eating, behaving in our daily life. We can see what seeds we are watering at that very moment. Whether we are watering this or this, we can be very much aware of that now. It becomes very clear. So when they are there, we learn how to maintain, helping them to stay, maintaining. We don't think that, oh, that's enough water. The flowers should be there all the time. I have peace now, I have freedom now. I do not need to take care of it anymore. You know? The more we are aware, the more we see things, everything is impermanent. They come and they go, they come and they go. And that is why we need to maintain our effort, what is called right effort at every moment. In everything we do, we are aware, so that we can see right away what we need to readjust, what we need to improve, what we need to help to maintain our peace, our freedom, our solidity. And while we are doing things here together, we are doing these two aspects together. And when we are doing that, we implicitly avoid watering the dead seeds, right? When we are doing this, it means at the same time we avoid doing this. Is that right? It becomes very implicit. We do not allow those seeds to be touched. So that is why we are here, we feel so peaceful, so calm, so happy, so free. Because we all help each other, support each other to do such things only. And while doing this, it means that we are avoiding doing that. And because we are aware now, so when they come up, because our mindfulness is still very weak, our concentration is still very weak. That is why our anger, our jealousy, our despair still comes up. And our minds still running. So when we are there, aware of that, we stop right away. When we find ourselves wandering with our mind, and then we hear the sound of the bell, we stop. We breathe, we smile, we relax, we are doing this. And we are more aware of what is there in our feelings, in our body. We are touching the unwholesome seeds in our anger is there now. I'm angry now. Before we didn't know the practice, so we allowed ourselves to be carried away by our anger, and we do things and say things in that kind of spirit of mind, state of mind, and we can destroy ourselves easily, and we can destroy any relationship. Even there are people like that, they have been living together for years, and if they allow themselves to get angry and to do things while they are angry, they can easily destroy a very good relationship. So when we are aware of that, we stop doing what we are doing, and then so we stopping doing, stopping the unwholesome seeds that have arisen here. We stop the manifestation right away. So we stop, not allowing it. Because if we allowed it to stay there for longer, it can become stronger and stronger, and it can destroy us easily. Everything comes and goes. Nothing stays for long. So even our emotion, no matter how strong they are, like a big storm, no matter how devastating they are, but it should come a time. It has to go away. So we practice being mindful, being solid, being free, for us to know how to deal with it and not allowing it to destroy us. And it shall come again and again. Even we know a lot how to be calm, but our strong habits, energy, our unwholesome seeds, they are so strong and we cannot overcome them yet. So that is why we need to be diligent in every moment. And the Buddha, we call it the 4 right efforts. And sometimes they are called the 4 right efforts. And while practicing being mindful, we are doing that every day, in every moment, in everything we do, for us to get stronger and stronger, so that strong emotion cannot blow us away anymore. We can become a free person, master of our feelings, master of our life. You can say stopping the manifestation, much better. Stopping the manifestation of unwholesome seeds. When we are aware that the unwholesome seeds lie, those seeds, they have arisen in our mind, we are aware of that, then we stop the manifestation. When we are doing this, we see that We are not doing that, right? So it's very clear now. The Buddha said, this is because that is. If we get angry easily, if we are feel frustrated, desperate, whatever, we need to be aware of what seeds we are watering. And because this is, we are doing this, so this, we are not doing this. So these wholesome seeds are not touched if we are doing this. And if we are doing this, these unwholesome seeds are not touched. Is it clear? So if we can use the language of our teacher, we call these, when we allow unwholesome seeds, even they are not arising yet, even they have not arisen yet, and if we are not aware of their presence, so if we are not mindful of what we are saying or acting, so we are giving them a chance to be waken up, and they share, bring a lot of harm, a lot of suffering to ourselves. If we use the language of our teacher, he called this garbage. We all have those seeds in us. We all have the garbage in us. But at the same time, with the practice of mindfulness, we can make our flowers bloom. So when we are doing that, we are cultivating flowers, we are planting flowers. When we are doing that, we allow garbage to take place, and we can be buried in the garbage we create ourselves. So we see the symbol of Buddhism, of lotus that is blooming over the mud. That is a kind of garbage in everyone, the mud. But with the practice of being aware, making ourselves a good gardener, we know how to use our suffering, our garbage, to be transformed into flowers. And the flowers, they shall die one day. But now with the practice, we know when they become garbage, we know how to make them bloom again. When we come back to our breathing, making ourselves fresh again, solid again, free again. And we should know how to use our own garbage to nourish our flowers, to make them bloom again. So we do not have to reject, we only learn ways how to deal with them and to transform them into the flowers. That is a symbol of Buddhism, the very image of a flower, a lotus flower blooming over the garbage. The lotus cannot bloom out of the mud. It blooms from the mud. So if we know how to use our suffering as a kind of fertilizer, helping our flowers to bloom again. And that is our practice. The flowers, they stay there for some time, they shall die, they shall become garbage. You know how to stop, to breathe, to smile, to relax. They shall have a chance to bloom again. Very clear now. And if we know, it can be given many names. Garbage, forgetfulness. When we are forgetful, we are not mindful, we allow these seeds to manifest. So this is forgetfulness, and this is mindfulness. This is darkness. This is light. This is hell. If we keep watering the bad seeds in our anger, jealousy, greed, passion, folly, all kinds of unwholesome things, we create hell to ourselves. Even we live by ourselves, we still create hell. We do not know how to live in harmony with ourselves. So even we live by ourselves, we still create hell. We still create wrong to ourselves. And this is called the kingdom of God. Như